Now for an update on Friday's shooting at Fort Lauderdale Airport that killed 5 people. Prosecutors have charged 26-year-old Iraq War veteran Esteban Santiago with carrying out an act of violence at an international airport that results in death, which carries a maximum punishment of execution. He also faces lesser weapon charges. Meanwhile, police in Alaska say they had returned a handgun to Santiago, which was temporarily taken from him when he underwent a mental evaluation late last year. Authorities eventually returned the gun to him because he had not committed a crime in terms of arms possession. It was not immediately clear if it was the same gun used in Friday's deadly rampage. Our correspondent Steve Mort has more.
Exhausted and frustrated, thousands of passengers flooded the airport in Fort Lauderdale, Florida Saturday, trying to retrieve their suitcases and other personal items they left behind after a gunman opened fire in a baggage claim area a day earlier. Some flight operations have resumed, bringing a sense of normalcy, a far different picture from the chaotic scenes which saw many passengers running onto the airport tarmac and seeking cover wherever they could find it. Esteban Santiago, a 26-year-old Iraq War veteran, allegedly killed 5 people and injured 6 more when he opened fire here at Fort Lauderdale International Airport using a gun that he'd had in his checked baggage.
Individuals have been killed, and some are fighting for their lives right here at hospitals in Broward County. Last night I went to Broward Health Medical Center to visit some of the victims and their families. Some of the victims were still in surgery fighting for their life.
Authorities are refusing to rule out a terrorist motive and are investigating possible radicalization, even though Santiago was never previously suspected of ties to extremists. He told the FBI in Alaska recently that his mind was being controlled by a U.S. intelligence agency, which was ordering him to watch ISIL videos.
Indications are that he came here to carry out this horrific attack. We have not identified any triggers that would have caused this attack, but again, it's very early in the investigation, and we're pursuing all angles and what prompted him to carry out such a horrific attack.
Santiago's family says he lost his mind after returning from a deployment in Iraq between 2010 and 2011. Authorities say he was recently discharged from the Alaska National Guard for performance issues. Questions are being raised about how the suspect was able to own and check a firearm into his luggage, given earlier red flags.
Every indication is that he did follow TSA procedures in checking in the weapon.
This latest mass shooting took place in the same state as an ISIL-inspired massacre at a nightclub in Orlando last June, and investigators in Fort Lauderdale are trying to determine whether Esteban Santiago could also have been motivated by a fascination with terrorist groups. Steve Mort, CGTN, Fort Lauderdale, Florida.